I have been putting off this video for a good while because I do not believe I can do it justice like what Capcom did to the Star Force Legacy Collection. I can't put into words how I felt playing through this collection, but I'm going to try my hardest to. So it's time to talk about my thoughts on the Mega Man Star Force Legacy Collection. So this year, Capcom has released many games that are going to be considered for Game of the Year, at least be mentioned for Game of the Year, such as Pragmata, Resident Evil Requiem, or Resident Evil 9, whatever you want to call it. Onimusha is going to be coming out later this year. And of course, their best game released this year, and in my opinion, it is already the 2026 Game of the Year. I can already hear Jeff Kigley saying that. Mega Man Star Force Legacy Collection. Because I'm going to be completely honest here, this game shouldn't even exist. It should not. It really shouldn't, because we gotta go back. Mega Man Star Force was releasing near the tail end of the whole Mega Man craze, where Capcom was just pumping out Mega Man games left and right. Practically every 6 months there was a new Mega Man game, whether it was the X series, the Zero series, the Battle Network series, the ZX series. Were they releasing classic games at the time? I guess they did with the classic collection on the GameCube and stuff. You have Command Mission, they had X6 come out 5 or 6 months after X5. The Zero games were practically yearly. Battle Network just released basically a yearly game for 6 straight series, or for 6 straight entries. It was just Mega Man all over the place. Star Force and ZX were also included in that, but they were near the tail end of what some might even consider the reason for that whole barrage ending, because the Mega Man sales started to peter off. People were oversaturating their own market with all these releases. I mean, Star Force is already coming off of the hugely successful Battle Network series. It was making the shift to 3D, it was on a new console, on the Nintendo DS. Some people weren't exactly happy about the whole shift to 3D with the battle system compared to Battle Network, especially since 6 was revered as the perfect culmination of the Battle Network system. So to start all over, or kind of start all over with Star Force, a lot of people didn't really like that. And the Star Force series itself just wasn't selling well. I mean, Star Force 3, to my knowledge, didn't even get an EU release. And it sold very horribly in the States. And the 4th game in the series, the technical 4th game of the series, Operate Shooting Star, which was like a crossover slash remake, or not remake, but remaster of Battle Network 1 that added in a extra Star Force scenario into the game, didn't even release in the West. And that didn't really sell that well in Japan either, so it's just... Star Force was not a huge mega success for Capcom. Even its anime got cancelled. They didn't even complete the 3rd season with Star Force 3. Star Force 2 anime kind of got cut short, so I mean, it's just... It didn't complete its English dubbing. They only got halfway through season 1, or the first game's anime, with Star Force. So yeah, Star Force, as much as I love the series, it wasn't a cash cow. It wasn't, even from Mega Man standards, it was not a cash cow. So there was always a part of me that thought, despite the fact that Capcom seems like they want to port all the Mega Man games over to modern consoles with the Legacy collections, I honestly thought Star Force was going to end up being last. I thought Legends would come first, and I was honestly a little worried that Star Force wouldn't even get one, because it would require so much work with making the DS systems work, the whole split screen stuff work on modern consoles. But then ZX came out, and I honestly wasn't even sure if ZX was going to get one, but ZX came out with Zero, and they managed to make it work. So I thought, okay, you know what, maybe there is hope for Star Force to maybe be included with Battle Network as well. And Battle Network came out by itself, which makes sense. I mean, there was 6 games, and all of those games, not all of those games, but 3 through 6 all had versions, so that's a lot of games to put into one whole Legacy collection. So At the same time, I wasn't really surprised that Star Force wasn't included, but it did make me think, alright, next will be Legends, and then after that we'll have to wait and see if Star Force even gets one. And then with the way Mega Man has been getting treated at Capcom, with seemingly no one really wanting to step up and advocate for the series, and the series just kind of being on standstill for a while, like, oh, well, let's release Mega Man 11. Didn't really put too much of a budget behind it. It sold well, but I mean, compared to like Resident Evil, Monster Hunter, Devil May Cry, what's the reasoning, you know? Street Fighter, all these series are making big bank. Why should Capcom even consider making a Mega Man game, you know? Just keep using them as a mascot, have these little collabs with their other games, be like a little throwback, like, hey, remember when we used to make these Mega Man games? Like, you know, that's what he could have been. But no, they decided, we're gonna try this, we're gonna keep trying. And then Star Force Legacy Collection was announced, and now it's released, and it is simply outstanding in more ways than one. But I think the most outstanding thing about this is the amount of love, care, and effort that Capcom just put into the collection. It's simply outstanding. They took all the games, put them in, you know, alright, that's pretty basic, that's what you expect from a collection, right? But all the quality of life they put in is outstanding. The jump from every Legacy Collection, like every time they've released a Legacy Collection, there's been a jump in quality for the most part, you know, from the classic game Legacy Collections to the X Collection, you can see the jump, it's pretty noticeable. And then from the X Collection to the Zero ZX Collection, there's not much of a jump, there's a little bit, there's not too much, you know, but there didn't really need to be much. I mean, the X Legacy Collection was already pretty well built, it worked pretty well, and they had some input delay issues, but I think they got fixed for Zero ZX. Me personally, I never really dealt with them, and as far as I know, I never heard anyone dealing with input delay on Zero ZX, so they managed to fix that from the X Legacy Collection. But then we get to Battle Network, and they had this whole 3D model for Mega Man and Land. They brought back the original voice actors. They had this whole new special UI. It's just like, okay, yeah, it makes sense they put in a lot of effort for Battle Network, because Battle Network, believe it or not, it was one of the most successful, if not the most successful, sub-series that Mega Man has had. Even more than X, surprisingly. But they went even farther than that with Star Force, because not only did we get the same fancy 3D models that Battle Network had, we got more of a background. Like, they have these 3D environments for Vista Point, for Echo Ridge, they have Vista Point in day and night. We have Sonya and the Prez as model characters as well, with their own backgrounds. They completely made a separate PvP system, separate from the way the old games handled it. They did this with Battle Network as well, but with Star Force, they made it to where you can queue up in all the games. They have the Brother Band system go through here. Like, the PvP portion of this game is literally just a completely different segment from the games themselves, like originally. Like, the way it works, it literally feels like it's running on something completely different. It's like its own little game they had to make for it to work. Because, like, you have the whole brother system running through it. You can queue up in all three games, which is a big quality of life issue that Battle Network had. You had to queue up in the games by themselves, so it meant basically you were splitting up the player base between all the games and all the different versions, so it just ended up making it hard to find matches, to the point where it just became a Discord game. And sure, that's going to eventually happen to Star Force as well, but it's definitely going to be delayed, because now you can just sit in queue between all three games, select each one of your folders for each game, so you're fully equipped out, you're always ready. And that's not easy. That's not easy to do, especially when you're making it for the older games. That's not easy to do. That's not something that they can just flip a switch and make it work. Like, they had to actually put in work to create that, and they didn't have to do that. They could have just done the same thing with Battle Network, where you just queue up in each separate game. They could have just made it to where you can only have the brother bands in those solo games. No, they made a whole separate brother band system for the multiplayer. You can have over like 100 brothers. You have all the games there. They give you rental decks, so that way you can start PvP immediately if you want, instead of having to go through the games and make your own decks. Now, granted, the rental decks aren't amazing or anything, but they can definitely get the job done. At least better than just using the standard decks. The whole PvP system by itself is a huge quality of life, not even including all the other stuff they added in, such as being able to turn off or turn up your encounters. You can change how much Zenny you earn. You can change the power of your Buster. Let's see. Actually, I have the game open right now. What other quality of life did they add? Because I feel like I can't even list them all off the top of my head just from the amount that they added. Let's see here. Settings. Yeah, they have a speed boost. You can toggle it on or off. You can change the screen size, the layout, the position of your dual screens. You can even set it vertical to match the original games. You can turn HP recovery on, guarantee escape. You can make it to where the version 2 of the bosses appear on the actual like overworld. That was not in the original games. They actually added that in to this. You can turn on damage reduction, change your Buster power, and it's not just, oh, make your Buster max power. No, you can actually select it to be 100%, 200%, 300%. You have like actual sliders on it. You can enable battle network content, HP recovery. I think I already said that. Like, there's a lot of stuff here that was not in the EXE games. You have control settings, you have all the wallpapers and stuff, border colors, graphics and stuff. Oh, background music. Don't even get me started on the background music. They took the music from the series and made new arrangements for every single track. Every single track from the original games, all of them, all have new arrangements that you can listen to. That blows my mind. The fact that they actually took the time to go through and arrange every single track, even the tracks that are included, like Shooting Star. Shooting Star is in every single game. They're slightly different, but it's the same song in every single game. Every single version has its own arranged version as well. They don't just have one single arrangement. No, each one has its own arranged version. That is insane to me that they took the time to actually go back and arrange every single track. And they have new voice acting. Now, it's not even just voice acting for stuff that was already voiced in game. No, they added in new moments in the game to have voice, like Geo-EM wave changing. That did not always have voice acting in like the first or second game. They added that in to where you can hear the voice. Like, they added in whole new lines to be voice acted, and I know that seems like such a little thing, but it's the little things that matter, that really show just how much they were thinking about the game. Like, you have to, like I said earlier, Star Force was not this amazing love child that Capcom had. They had, it's not this amazing seller that made all this money. No. It was definitely the, I don't want to say problem child, but it was just another Mega Man series, you know? It didn't sell well. They canceled the 4th game that was being made. So it's just like, I just did not think they would take this time and effort into this. So to actually see it just blew my mind, to see this much work being put into it. Like, I honestly, even now, almost a full month past the game's release, every time I open the game and I just see all this stuff, the very clean UI they made, all the quality of life they made, even the high-res filter. I know a lot of people aren't a fan of the high-res filter. I wasn't always a fan of it. I do think it matters with what games you use it on. Like with the X games, the Zero games, with the pixel art and stuff, the classic games, the high-res filter definitely does make it look a little weird. But with like Battle Network, I didn't really feel it was that bad, especially in like 4, 5, and 6. It didn't seem that bad. I didn't mind using it. I still didn't use it though, but in Star Force, I honestly think, I don't know if they changed the way the high-res filter works, but I honestly really like the way Star Force looks with the high-res filter. It's definitely the first of the collections where I actually just keep it on all the time, because yeah, the games look fine without it, But with it on, they just have that nice little extra look to it. Maybe I'm just imagining things. Maybe it's just my love for Star Force to make me think it actually looks better. I don't know. I feel like they changed the way the high-res filter works. Maybe it's just because the games are newer that it's able to work with them a little bit better. But I honestly think it does improve the look of the games without making it look weird or like squishy or really this weird like smooth over look like it did with the X games, Zero games, the classic games. So I don't know if they changed it. In my mind, I'm just gonna say they did because it just looks really good. They updated all the cards in the game to have HD art. They all look amazing. You can go through, you can actually compare them to their old designs. Well, not old designs, but like the old look of them. So you can just see how much change, like, and I don't know if it's AI upscaled. I do think it's just them taking the original art and just redoing it. If it is AI upscaled, pardon me, but I don't think it is. I think it's the original art redone. Or maybe it's the original art uncompressed. I don't know. I don't think it's the original art just uncompressed because first of all, it's a lot of compression to undo. And some of the art you can obviously see differences between the new and old one. So I do think it's just redrawn art. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but regardless, it still looks really fucking good. And the fact they did that for all the cards is just breathtaking. Breathtaking to me. Just amazing. I honestly can't believe it. They have a bunch of artwork in here, but they always include that in all the collections and stuff, so that's not anything special, but like, I don't know, it's just crazy to me to see how much love and effort they put in to the Star Force Legacy Collection, because they obviously put in effort in all of them, right? I feel like the only one that you could kind of feel like maybe they phoned it in a little bit, but even I don't want to say they did because I don't believe that they phoned it in, was the Zero ZX one. Because that one, the jump from X to Zero ZX wasn't that big, but I really feel like there's not much they really could have done. I mean, they still gave us the Z Chaser mode, which was different from the Boss Rush mode that the X Collection had, so it's like, I don't think you can say they phoned it in. I know some people like to say that that collection was phoned in a little, but regardless, it's just jump in quality from Battle Network to Star Force is just not expected. And it still blows my mind now, and I honestly don't think I'll ever get over that fact that they did that. And it makes me believe, you know what, maybe they're actually being serious about the fact that they want Mega Man to be something that they care about in the modern day of Capcom. You know? They did go, there was a shareholders meeting where they did say they do want Mega Man to be a symbol of the company, so they want to put effort into it. They're not just gonna let the IP rot there like it's kind of been for the past couple of years. And honestly, this is a very good first showing. We have our new producer now for the series. We have Dual Override coming up, and all I have to say is Star Force Legacy Collection is a perfect example, perfect like first showing for the new producer of the series, the new head of the series, I guess, of the Mega Man series in general. And I'm very excited to see just how well, or just how new and different Dual Override is. Like, I'm very excited to see just to see if we can tell, like, between from Mega Man 11 to Dual Override, if we're gonna see a jump in quality that we saw from Battle Network Collection to Star Force Collection. Or is the jump gonna be even bigger? I don't know. All I know is Star Force Legacy Collection is everything I could have hoped for. It would have been nice to get Operate Shooting Star in here, and I think, was there any content? No, I think they did include all the content that didn't make it in the Western releases into this. Off the top of my head, I can't think of anything that was left out. But, no, like, regardless, this is literally all I could ask for. It's more than what I could ask for. It's more than what I ever thought they would do for Star Force. I am more than happy, more than satisfied as a Star Force player. And I'm just super excited now for the Mega Man series. Like I said, I don't think I can put into words how happy this collection made me, how fulfilled as a Star Force fan this collection made me. That's the reason why I put off this video for so long. I feel like I've just been rambling, about the same thing over and over again these past couple 18 minutes. I don't know how long I've been recording for. It's just, yeah, it's I legitimately don't know what to say. Like, this is just a video of me rambling about how happy I am just to see what they did here. And I don't honestly, like, this is one of the best video game releases I've ever seen in my life, and I've been playing video games since I was a wee little lad, since, like, I think the first game I ever played was Pac-Man at like 2 years old. And then I started playing Mega Man X probably a little bit after that, so this shit has been with me my entire life, and this game, this collection will definitely go down in my top 5 for me in my life. I honestly don't ever see it leaving my top 5 unless they redo another collection later in the future that somehow improves the games even more. I don't know what they could do with it. Maybe add crossplay, but I don't know. It's just, it's insane, man. It truly is insane. Was there a big point to this video? I don't know. I think the point was just getting my happiness across of just how I already said this. I'm just repeating myself at this point. It's just, if you're still here and you have not played the Star Force games, I highly recommend it, and this is the perfect way to get into them. Literally, there's nothing in this collection that would make me think, oh, you would rather just play it on OG hardware. No, like, just get the collection. Like, if you're one of those people who like to play games on OG hardware, then yeah, go ahead and do that. There's nothing wrong with playing these on the DS, but like, if you just want to experience these games, the collection is the perfect way to do it. It truly is. There's nothing missing here. They got it all right, and honestly, these games deserve to be experienced. Whether you're a Mega Man fan or not, I think you deserve. If you like RPGs at all, JRPGs, or if you've seen the games and you think they look somewhat mildly interesting, I think it's more than worth it to give them a shot. And there's no better time to jump into them than now. So, yeah. Let me know down below what your guys' thoughts on the series, on the collection was as a whole. If you were just as happy about it as I was, if you're just as excited for the future of Mega Man as I am, because this was a perfect showing. Taking a series that wasn't exactly the best for Capcom, but yet giving it the best treatment possible, it just gives me so much hope for Mega Man as a franchise in the future of Capcom's hands. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens with Dual Override and what's after that, but I think for now I'm just going to go ahead and end this video here, because like I said, I'm just rambling about the same things over and over again, because I truly don't know how to express how happy this game makes me. So with that being said, thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed the Legacy Collection. And with that being said, I will see you all next time. Peace out.